Guys, I got my boys, man, my guys over from ACD Agency, man. It's such a pleasure. I really appreciate both of you guys for coming, for making this happen. I know you guys got, a little bit of busy schedules there. Well, not a little bit, probably a lot. So I really appreciate you for fitting me in to your big schedule. And for everybody, man, again, I got ACD Agency here. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Sure. So first of all, thank you for having us on too. We've been looking forward to connecting with you for a while and getting this opportunity to tell the 2K community what we're all about and what we're trying to do for our guys. But first of all, my name is Chris Gullah. I'm the president and founder of Athletic Career Development Agency, which is for short ACD Agency.
Okay.
Yeah, and same goes for me. I wanted to thank you. First off, you do a great job for the community. New communities like this need people that are going to really put out a lot of content, grow the community. So first of all, I want to thank you for that. Thank you for having us on. And I'm Mike McGrath. I'm our eSports director at ACD.
Definitely. So let's dive right into that, man. Esports, it's taking over for the NBA 2K League right now. It's getting huge, man. And you guys have a foot already in the door with one of your newly guys that you guys been working with, someone who just got drafted by the name of Bobby Buckets, man. That's huge. Congrats on that. That's a huge win for you guys. How did that happen, man? How did you guys work that out with Bobby Buckets? How did that start?
Sure. So leading up to the draft last year, which was the season 2 draft, was right around after our company was up and running a little bit. And what Michael and myself did was we really looked into the background of a lot of the guys who made it into the draft pool. We researched their social media. We looked into what type of guys everybody was. And we tried to target not too many guys because, the industry's growing and we're looking to get involved responsibly. But we targeted guys like Bobby, who we found to be mature guys, guys who are responsible, guys who are well respected in the community, maybe not have had the biggest name out there yet, but guys that we knew were going to embrace us, be loyal to us, vibe with our culture. So leading up to last year, Bobby was one of the guys we identified, just reached out to him. We kind of hit it off right away, given the basketball background of our company and Bobby's basketball background too, what he's trying to do. And it was just a fit. So that's how we got involved with him leading up to the season 2 draft.
Okay. And Micah, do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah. So obviously last year Bobby was in the pool and that was a little tough. Everyone wants to hear their name called, but I think that gave us a real opportunity to really show him that no matter what happens, we're going to stick by the guys that we pick because they're part of our family. It's the thing we do. It's a family thing. So we're going to work with them no matter what happens. And we were able to work the whole off season. Like Chris said, identified further the guys who did get picked. What did they do right? What did they do wrong? And we're able to formulate a plan, and I think it paid off.
Definitely. So without, going too fast here, I know we got right into the esports because that's what's going on right now. That's what's hot. But I know you guys didn't just wake up and become agents, So tell me, how did you guys lead up until this point that you guys are at today, which is a very good place?
Right. I'll take the lead on that. So without going into exhaustive detail, just letting everybody know about my background a little bit. I'm from Jersey. I've lived outside of the Philadelphia area over here. And Michael actually grew up in the same area. But essentially, I went to college. I played 4 years of college basketball. And after that, I went to law school at Rutgers University. The president of the Sports and Entertainment Law Society there. I've always wanted to do this type work. So I ended up working for, I worked for Leon Rose, who's an NBA agent who represented, back then he was representing Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony. Nowadays he's representing Joel Embiid. He had LeBron at one point, and he actually just got moved up to be the president of the New York Knicks. So he was somebody I was working with. I was also working in the compliance department at Villanova University on the basketball end, helping out, talking with Jay Wright, giving presentations about what the compliance rules are and changes in the system or programs they were using. after that, and during law school as well, I coached college basketball. I ended up coaching for 7 years, including with a pro basketball Hall of Famer. His name's Herb McGee. He coaches at Philadelphia University. I think he's second to Coach K in wins now. He's been doing it forever. So I really embraced all that. I was trying to learn. By the time I was done law school and coaching, I was trying to learn both the contract piece of things and really get some experience before I did things, just jumping in, and the basketball things as well, like kind of learning what it's all about, how to communicate with coaches, how to really view things from a coach's point of view.
Right.
So essentially, moving forward towards ACD, it's a culmination of the coaching for 7 years. I've now been practicing law for 7 years myself now over here. I'm licensed in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and just kind of founded the company from that, from the legal practice, negotiated millions of dollars worth of settlement agreements, contracts, all that stuff, and the basketball end. I put it together, ended up getting my National Basketball Players Association license. I took the test for that. Now fully certified NBA agent, so I'm trusted, when I get guys there, I'm working my way up, but I'm trusted to represent those guys and negotiate for them when they're making millions of dollars. I got my FIBA license as well, which is the International Basketball Federation, basically covers basketball everywhere outside of the U.S., right? Like in Europe, South America, all that stuff. And the WNBA as well. I got all 3 of those licenses, started formulating a plan about what ACD was going to be, connected with, sought out the right people, somebody like Michael will tell you about his background to lead certain divisions, set up a referral network of people. So as you can see, it's been a long time coming. I didn't mean to talk too much, but there's some important pieces in the background that I think are important to show people that we have that background. I'll let Michael talk a little bit more about him and how we got linked up and what his background is as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of seeing now, maybe I should have went first. I don't have the connections with Leon Rhodes, Coach McGee, but I same thing. Grew up in the local area with Chris, and went on to play 4 years of Division I football. Always big into sports. Love basketball. Unfortunately, never that great at basketball. Was able to move on and play football.
Michael's not an Ivy League guy too. He's an Ivy League guy too, playing football. Don't let him short himself.
All right. Come on. Tell me the full thing.
I played at Columbia in New York, which is awesome. Opportunity. It was a great time. And New York City is incredible. So excited that the 2K League is centered here. Actually, I'm sure you're not moved to Manhattan where they're going to be playing. Yeah. But yeah, went to Columbia, played 4 years there, and my whole life I've been football and video games. That was it for me. Got in trouble a couple times probably playing football in college when I was maybe playing a little 2K instead of reading up on my playbook or something like that. But yeah, I definitely always super into eSports. And that's I wanted to reach out to Chris, and because it's all him starting the new agency, wanted to reach out and ask him if he was interested in this new world. I mean, it's so new, even though we're talking a couple years down the road, but compared to something like, I don't know, the NFL that's now been around for 100 years, it's a big 100-year. A lot of these leagues, 2K League, 3rd season, it's so brand new. It's really exciting, and that's kind of where I'm coming from that.
Definitely.
And the thing that impressed me about Michael is even beyond 2K. There's a guy you're looking at on the screen who, I was hanging out with him before the draft the other day when we were up in New York, and I mean, he knows the industry legit, he knows everything. I'm talking Overwatch, League of Legends. He knows the content production. I think he worked for a few helping guys develop YouTube channels and things like that back in his college days.
Before ACD, I was assisting a couple people as they developed their channels. I also went through I don't know if you ever heard, it's Playcrafting. It's actually a company that develops games, where they teach people how to develop games. And was kind of working on that, and then met Chris and pivoted away from making games to supporting people that play them.
Right. So you guys
a good fit overall for sure. I mean, we definitely vibed, and we I think we trust each other, and that's an important part of working with somebody closely. So.
No, definitely. I was just gonna say that, man. You guys you seem very versatile. I like that you mentioned that you just don't have your eyes on 2K. You guys are esports. I know you guys don't want to just throw one ceiling over 2K. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because a lot of people that are watching, I don't just have 2K followers. A lot of people are going to see, hey, are they trying to get involved in other areas other than 2K that are within the esports realm? So I'm glad that you brought that up, and that's huge, man. I want to touch a little bit on it, and we're all human here. You said as far as you got in a little trouble when you were an athlete, so you guys have experience with that, and we're all human. Let's be transparent here for a minute, and I want you guys to kind of go into as well, what type of value do you guys give your clients? What type of value can you guys add to your potential clients? Because this is the real world, right, guys? Not everything, we don't live in a perfect world. Kids are going to get in trouble. When we're talking about esports games, we're talking about a younger generation. We're not dealing with, 35 plus years old. Even though that's young, we're not dealing with that age. So there's a lot of mistakes that kids are going to make. There's a lot of mistakes that young adults are going to make. I'll put it like that. What type of value and support do you guys add to that type of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm 18, 19 years old, freshman in college, playing football, and long day, tired, and I decide I'm going to hop on League of Legends instead of watching the film I'm supposed to watch. That's, like you said, you're human. You're going to make a mistake. Stuff like that happens. Whether you tweet the wrong thing, you say something on stage maybe you're not supposed to say, things are going to happen, and having a support staff to back you up and fight for you when these things happen is invaluable, really. I mean, everyone needs someone in their corner.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll get into when you ask some 2K specific questions, I could go into, some pretty specific detail about what we're doing and what type of risks are out there for these guys that they're not thinking about right now, being young men, as you're talking about. Yeah. But just generally, man, it's this, look, anybody in our esports family, I connect with them just like in my basketball family. We have guys in all the way across the water in France, in Spain and Australia, far away. And those guys come to me and they trust me with any type of issue that goes on, being across the world for me. And that's kind of goes to the support system that Michael talks about. Like, something's wrong with your bed out there. You have an issue with a teammate. The team's not paying you on time. These are all issues that, given our background and our life experience and our experience as professionals, we're able to help those guys out with. It goes well beyond, contract negotiation or helping them through contract pieces of it. It's kind of that mentorship and that support system being in place to really help with a lot of things going on. It's kind of hard to cover in one little general, what do we do? But the support system, and I think we'll go into some more detail about exactly what that means for 2K and esports as we kind of, naturally let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. And what does that mean for, 2K, up and coming 2K esports athletes, gamers, excuse me, and current 2K esports gamers? What does that mean for them? What can you guys offer them that will make them feel more comfortable? Are you guys aware of the stuff that's going on out there within the 2K world that they may run into? Do you guys know something, that they don't? What is that?
100%. So, I mean, I'll start off, there's a lot of different things. So the first thing I'll talk about is there's these guys, when they qualify for the 2K League draft, there's a document that goes out to them. It's a contract, a standard contract for the league, and a player handbook. For purposes of I'm kind of bound by some confidentiality clauses in those documents, so I can't speak about exactly what's in there or what it means for our guys. But I can tell you a lot of general topics that were out there that guys are not thinking about that they need to be covered for. Everything from, and what we do is interpret the policies. We support them in the policies. If they run into issues, we help them get through it in a lot of different ways. But things like social media use, injuries and illnesses that come up during the season, housing and meal problems that happen during the season, criminal conduct, and alleged criminal conduct, another thing that can get these guys in trouble, drug issues, drug testing, bullying, and harassment issues that go on in when you're living in a house with other guys who were in their 20s. Like, these things come up. Attendance at games, practices, meetings. You don't understand it. If you're late, like, you're a professional now, you get in this league and you're late and you don't notify people the right time, or you have to miss something, there's potential punishments that go on now. And we're there to help you through that process and communicate with you, educate you on it, and help you get through it. Gambling's another one. Endorsements and content's another one. Workers' compensation issues. If guys get injured while on the job, they need someone there to help them through that process. There's insurance things going on in the league. Like, the league has, again, I can't go into specifics, but there's life insurance, there's medical insurance, there's savings plans in terms of pension plans where the league will match some of the money that maybe you contribute to it. These are all different things. And then obviously the disciplinary issues too are big. There's a system in place that I can't speak on again, but we're there. And this is what I do, man. Like, I've been doing this for 8 years now as a practicing attorney, like in the courts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, federal courts, state courts. We fight for the guys. We go through the arbitration process. We make sure they're not being taken advantage of, and we make sure they're being protected. So that's in terms of the actual contractual piece of it and the day-to-day. But I think there's some other things I can touch on too. But again, I don't want to talk too long. There's a lot going on. So
yeah, I mean, Chris is really just scratching the surface. Like he said, you get this player manual, and it is almost 100 pages long, and every word's important. You can't skim through it and, like most guys do, just sign at the bottom. There's a lot you have to know what you're signing on to, and that's what we're here to help understand.
And it is a binding legal contract. I mean, you are signing away rights. You are giving away rights. There are, certain things you can no longer, like, protect yourself with or sue people on. There's a lot of things going on.
But it's not a game anymore. It's a job now. You're a professional. Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff we work our clients through.
And I think guys really, I don't think right now in the 2K community, I think some other leagues that things have changed as the leagues have developed, that they're willing to trust guys like us. But I think in the 2K community, for some reason, whether it be in young guys who, like, this is their first job and they're going to another city and they don't want to ruffle feathers or anything like that, they're putting themselves in harm's way by not having a support system in place. Say, guys don't end up having somebody like me in place. What happens when you've seen it in the league before? There's been fights on stage. There's been guys get terminated for social media issues. There's been gambling issues. This is just in year 2. The league is constantly developing and moving forward. And what happens is when guys don't have us there, they end up getting taken advantage of sometimes by the league, or the league and the teams have to protect their image. That's first and foremost. It's not, I need to protect this player. I mean, there is an extent of that, but you got to think the league and the team's main focus is we're a growing industry. We need to look out for ourselves. So who's there to look out for the guys? And, okay, if you get somebody, you could pay an attorney if you get in trouble and pay somebody $250 an hour to fight this type of stuff for you. Or you can link up with ACD, who are guys who are educated about this, who know about it, who study this industry, who have real world experience in the industry to help you out.
No, that's huge. And I want to ask you guys, because this is just a random number that I'm throwing out there, but for the actual NBA, I'm pretty sure like 90% of those guys, right, have representation, like agents, right? So
and there's a reason for that. Some of the 2K guys, I talk about it with them, like these guys have agents not because it's the cool thing to do, or because they want to, have to, pay somebody a little bit of money to do something. It's because it's necessary, not just to protect yourself, but to make the most of the opportunity. And I mean, we'll talk about some other ways where we help guys make the most of it. But it's a business now, as Michael said. It's like a profession. Like, you got to invest in yourself a little bit too and be aware.
Mm-hmm. So, and we want to, educate, the younger audience. We definitely want to point them into the right direction here with representation. Now, let me ask you this. From what you guys know, as far as the NBA 2K League, is there a lot of representation out there for these guys, or would you say more than half of these guys are going unrepresented and just handling things on their own with their family, I guess? Is from what you guys know? I know you guys got your ears around. From what you guys know, is that what's going on, or are most of these guys getting represented and just not saying anything? Do you guys have any insight on that?
I've been talking a lot, Mike. You take some.
Not only just the 2K League. I mean, it's starting. The 2K League's newer, so it's more of an issue in the 2K League. But in esports in general, the majority of these players, professionals now, are trying to figure it out on their own, and that's what Chris said. That's when a lot of these guys are getting themselves in trouble when things do happen. And like you said, everyone's human. Things are going to happen, whether it's your contract, whether you make a mistake, whether your team makes a mistake. Anything could happen. And then these guys are kind of left on their own, trying to survive and figure out what to do, what the next step is. And when you're backed by a support system like ACD, you have that team that's seen this, done that, been there, that knows how to react and how to make the best of the situation.
And I'll comment too. I think that personally, I think there are some guys out there who do the type of work that we do. And I think that I don't think a majority of the players in the league have representation. I think there's a big pushback on that from the players. I think that they think that some of these agents out there are there to take advantage of them, to not do anything for them, but to just like take a little money from them. I guess they don't see the value yet because the industry is just kind of growing, and they're these young guys who are just getting their first job, and they're so excited, and they're like, oh, I get to go represent the Hawks or the Bucks or the, But
I don't want to cause any problems.
Yeah, but there's more. Like there's more to that, and that's what we like. There's a way to take advantage of it and build something for yourself too, and to really make the most of the opportunity. And in terms of other agents, I don't talk bad about any other lawyer or agent who's out there, but I think that sometimes we get put into a box with guys who may be out there representing guys and doing things not to our standard. I think there's been some confusion at points as we've approached some guys that we found to be maybe good fits for us who have given us pushback. Like, it's like they hear from other guys, oh, this agent was working with them and maybe they're not doing things the right way. But what we try to stress is that's not us, man. If you want to hear about what we're about, like you call somebody who's involved with us and you see what we're about. You go to our website and you read about everything that Michael and I just spoke about. Because we're not here to take advantage of anybody, man. Like I'm being genuine here. We want to help these guys and we want to help them make the most of the opportunity and stay out of harm's way. That's what we're here for. We're not here to do anything else.
We say it all the time. We both played our sports at the college level. Like that, you learn what a team really is and how it's more than a team. It's a family, and that's why we're always preaching. We're a family. I mean, just last week at the draft, Bobby got picked, and we had a great time.
Celebrate a little bit afterwards, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of celebration. But.
Definitely.
I also think that the community will be heading that way in the future. I think right now that there's sooner or later it's got to come to a head. Like if the esports industry grows as they're predicting it to, and as the NBA is obviously predicting it to, you see more and more teams getting involved. You see the NBA getting more and more sponsorships, the teams getting more and more sponsorships, people wanting to be a part of it. Sooner or later, these guys and these players are going to say, well, wait a minute, like it's the same thing that happens with any players association, right? Like when NBA started, maybe they didn't have it, but eventually like players are eventually like, well, we got to get a little something for ourselves too if the league grows that way. So I think personally in the future, and not just in the 2K league, but in a lot of these other leagues going on out there as well, I think it's in the future for sure. And I think it should be done now because I think that's how a player is going to get the most of it. But I think it will head that way, and you'll see more and more guys in the league being represented by guys like us.
Definitely. So I mean, you guys seem like pretty cool guys. You guys aren't too intimidating, at least not to me. At least not to me. So can a player just reach out to you guys? I mean, I know you guys have your standards, I know you guys have a process on how you guys, reach out, or how you guys, recruit different talent. But can a player reach out to you guys? Can they message you guys in the DMs if they're interested? We're working with you guys. I mean, are you guys open to that? How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like I said, we obviously have our process that we're going to go through, and some guys will reach out with questions. They're looking for advice, and even if they're not at that professional level, maybe they're new, for the 2K, for example, maybe they're new to Pro-Am or trying to get into it, or maybe only a year into Pro-Am and really taking the steps. There's a lot. I love talking with guys. I mean, more than happy to offer advice, and then see where it goes down the road. If maybe at the point where they're ready to move into the draft combine and really take that next step, then we talk about that. But I grew up playing games. I love the video game communities that are out there. I mean, and the 2K community is pretty special. So I just like engaging with guys in general. Like, no matter what, though, yeah. And especially if you're looking for some kind of help and you're trying to make that next step, please reach out. I'd love to talk.
Yeah, we keep it open for, I mean, that's what we want, guys to reach out to us. So you could go to our website, www.acdagency.com. If you go to contact us, there's a link right there. You submit why you're reaching out to us, what we can help you with. You can also go to our social media accounts. It's ACD_eSports or ACD_agency, Twitter. I mean, they're open accounts. You could shoot us a DM or email or whatever, because we want to hear from you. Like, and not just 2K too, right? I mean, I think we're going to grow towards doing some of the other things as well. And again, we'll go through our process, as Mike said. There's no guarantee we're going to link, if the guys aren't a fit for us, then it's not going to work out in the long term. But we're definitely open to connecting with guys and communicating with them and seeing what their goals are and how we can help them. And it's different for everybody, right? If you're a current 2K League player, it's a little different than if you're a guy who just was at the draft last Saturday on February 22nd at Terminal 5 and didn't get picked.
Right. You're obviously going to have different goals.
But we're there to help the guy no matter what it is. Like, you see what we did with guys like Bobby or Oakland Rose who weren't drafted a year ago, and some of the more buzz we've been able to get them. And I think now you'll see some things we do with the guys in the league too here as well. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you are in your career, what game you play. If you think you're a right fit for us, please do not hesitate to reach out, because we're looking for guys who are the right fit.
That's huge. That's huge. And hey, man, I don't want to hold you guys too long because I know you guys are busy, but I do want to touch on this, something that I think everyone wants to know, something I've been itching to know. What type of what are some of the wins, that you guys have accomplished so far with, some of your clients within the esports realm of 2K, and what are some of the stuff that you guys, think, or that you guys can accomplish with working with, 2K? How can you add value to them?
Right. So some of the things we've done already, I mean, you take somebody like Bobby who, and I'm not taking any credit from Bobby. Listen, man, Bobby is an incredible person. Yeah. He's mature. He's very creative. He's driven. What Bobby was able to do this past year after the last draft, it goes a lot towards him, because he set up the plan. What we do is communicate with him about it, and we talk through it. And you see somebody like Bobby who created his own draft hopefuls video, and the commissioner is reaching out to him on social media. That might've been what got him drafted, but things like that. We were able to get Oakland Rose on the news up there in New York. We reached out to some media outlets, got him up there. So things like that are what we've done for guys leading into the draft process, just kind of building that buzz and helping them with things like marketing and things like that.
There's a lot of marketing that really goes almost behind the scenes that people don't necessarily recognize right away. I mean, like we said, not only getting guys on the news, but deciding, okay, when's the best time to put that out on Twitter? When's the best time to send that to coaches, scouts? And there's a lot of, sounds a little nerdy, there's a lot of analytics that go into that too. When are the most people on Twitter? When are people awake? When are people at work? There's a lot, and that's a lot for a player who's trying to make it, working hard every day, practicing the game to handle on their own. But when you have someone like us backing you up, saying, okay, you have this awesome content piece, we're going to send it to scouts and coaches at this time on this day, and these specific coaches because they're on our targeted list. That's a lot of work for people who, like I said, they're focused on being the best player they can be. That's what we want them to do. So we work through the rest.
Yeah. And I think it's all strategic, man. Like, what I'll say is, and I'll educate people about how we operate and stuff like that. So if you sign on with ACD, what the first thing we do, we can't help you if we don't know what you're about, what you represent, who you are, what your goals are, short-term, long-term, all that type stuff. So there's a means by which that we extract all that information out of you. We find out everything about who you are, and we identify what your goals are, right? Short-term, long-term, things like that. And then we create a strategic plan for it. One of the pieces of that plan is a branding. We work on guys with creating what I would call a brand positioning statement, right? So what that is it's this whole process where I try to find, like, we try to set your brand up. So what happens is, most guys, whether they're pro basketball players or esports guys, they have what I call a personal level of influence, right? And then there's an athletic window of influence. When you're in the 2K league, your personal influence is as high as it possibly can be, right? But what happens is when you're out of the league, your personal influence drops down with that. What we do trying to create a brand is make sure you've grown something in you as a person, so that even when you're not in the league anymore, you're still extracting value out of what you had there. So that branding piece of it, I mean, it's everything from like your visual identity, like what type of emojis you're using, what you're saying in the post game, what type of hand gestures you're using, what type of clothes you're wearing, how you're interacting with the media, what type of rivalries can you create that draws a little buzz towards you. These are all like it goes well beyond that. I mean, it's a very, very thorough process we go through. And after that, once they do that and they're in the league, that's where we start to identify capitalizing on that brand and doing things like looking out for things like endorsements, sponsorship, public appearances, speaking appearances, podcast appearances, all that stuff. And I'll be honest, the guys in the league right now, they have an uphill battle on that stuff, because the league is very there's a standard, and the league has to approve the sponsorships and endorsements. And the reason why you don't see a lot of them yet is because there's not too many guys like us out there, like navigating it and discussing with the league and being like, this guy has this opportunity, and what do we have to do to make it work for you, and all this stuff. So that's a piece of it. We seek out all that, and I'm pretty confident you'll see some of that this year with our guys we have in the league, like Bobby Buckets with the Pacers, 2K Slim with the Blazers. You need to. Am I all right?
No, you're good. You're okay. Good. You know what?
Right, I wasn't sure if you had like change a tape or something.
No, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm actually doing this one on my phone for people who are watching. So my phone almost died, and this is too good for my phone to die on and to redo this thing all over again.
You see that? You see that? I sensed something going on. I thought you had like a bat, like a tape was running out or something like that.
Nah, hey, good eye. Nah, I wasn't gonna pull a quick one on you guys. I apologize.
No, I'm observant with that stuff. Trust me. So, Mike, you were gonna say something, and then I'll keep talking. I could go forever, man. You got me on here for a few hours. I feel strongly about it.
We preach it all the time. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's exciting. Like, especially these guys that just got drafted. It's exciting as can be. But you don't want this thing to play for a year and that's it. Building a brand is so important, because you want to be the guy that changes how the league operates. You want to be the guy that people recognize in and out. And there's a few guys in the league that are doing a great job at that on their own, but don't even realize how far a support system could take them. Like, if they're already doing well, think how big they could build their brand to the point where you're turning this into a 10, 15-year career, whether it's as a player, coach, commentator. There's a lot of opportunities out there. And then
we're content creator in general. I mean, just being a content creator, building it into that. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, yeah, that's 100% correct. Another thing we did this past year, and we're hoping we can do it yearly, annually, and hope really grow it. So we're a little bit away. It'll probably be in the fall after the league. But as a community, it's always great to give back. And personally, I'm huge into volunteer work, charity, philanthropy, things like that. So last year we hosted the first like streamathon pretty much for the 2K League community. Had a bunch of guys who were trying to make it, guys who were in the league, stream, raise money for specific charities, and I'm hoping this second year we can really get it concreted out, get a lot of guys involved, and make a real difference as a community.
Oh, definitely. That's huge.
I think you know, what we can do for guys, it really comes down to like what do you want? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like do you want is that part of your goal, like to create endorsement and sponsorship opportunities outside of the league? Because if it is, I mean, those are the things we extract, right? Like, what do you want to get out of this? And I already said, like, look, you saw somebody like Dime sign. There was he signed with HyperX the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and guys don't recognize that's already a 2K. That's already like a league sponsor, right? So there's different issues going on when somebody there's already a league sponsor involved, and then maybe, you know, things are a little different when the league looks at it. But I think that it will come to a head to the point where if things are done responsibly and correctly, the sponsorships, endorsements, those are things that I've heard from guys in the league. Like, we're in the community. There's guys who have told me like, oh, well, this guy had a sponsorship and the league told him no. Well, it's possible. Yeah. But when you have guys like us who can read through the legal terms of things, stuff like that, you know, it's different. We'll fight. Yeah, communicating and figure out how to make it work. And then some other things we do, man, I just get it all out. Like, we'll do, look, the league is growing, it's changing. There's going to be different players' rights that come up or different opportunities. We're all over the community, not just the 2K community, but the eSports community in general. So we keep guys abreast of what's going on out there, how they can capitalize on it. You know, Mike already talked about, I did as well, the branding piece of it, the marketing piece of it. That just doesn't go towards during the season, right? Well, if guys want to build things outside of the season, we're there to do that. Like, we help them. Look at somebody like Oakland Rose, who has now somebody else who deserves like all the credit. He's done so much in terms of, he has a YouTube channel that he's been able to build and grow and things like that. Those are the type of things. And it's not just what Oakland Rose does. There's opportunities out there to build those things. And we work with you on how to do it and how to do it responsibly, correctly, and to make the most of the opportunity. You know, the daily management's a piece of it, whether it's business while you're in the league, right? There's people that may reach out to you for business inquiries or issues that come up with coaches or teammates, housing things that go on. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that happen where I think it's good for a young guy to have someone people knowledgeable about the industry there to turn to, like Chris, Mike, like this is going on. Like, what do? I need to figure out what to do. Guys aren't thinking that's going to happen yet. They're just like, oh, I'm in the 2K league. Like, I'm a professional. I'm going out to this city and I'm going to live with like teammates who are like my brothers. And like, but there's so much more that goes into it, man. And then, you know, ACD as well. What we have before we started this company up was we took a lot of time to find the right people to invest in terms of responsible professionals in other areas that I would call like our referral network, right? So if guys need help with taxes, this is all taxable income that guys are earning in the 2K league. You know, it's not like it's just free money you don't have to pay taxes on. They got to know how to pay their taxes and how to do things. We're aligned with financial advisors who can point these guys in the right directions in terms of, should you be contributing to a retirement plan already? Like, how long are you actually going to be in the league? Does that make sense? Guys who are insurance specialists, all that type stuff, man. We have a network in place where I wouldn't send anybody that we represent to somebody that we don't trust and want to put our own trust in. So guys can rest assured they don't have to take all this time out to find who can help me with this. They know, like, you know, this is a guy that the background's already been dug into. He knows what he's doing. He's very good at what he does. That's what I'm going to go with. So that's that's more value that we bring to guys that way.
Definitely. So can we expect to see you guys at any, 2K league just released their schedule?
Come on, man. Of course we're going to be out there.
Can we expect, are we going to see you guys at some of those games? Perfect.
Yeah.
So are you guys welcome to people coming up to you, introducing themselves? You guys are cool with that, right? You're not.
If you don't do it to us, we're going to do it to you. So
yeah, I'll say you'll probably see Michael's face a lot. Take a good look at him right there. It's a beautiful face he's got. No, he's living up.
Ex-offensive line, hard to miss.
He lives right near the studio, so I mean, he's going to be there a lot, I'm sure. I'm going to get up there from where I'm at, wherever I can, whenever my time permits, between everything else that the company has going on. So we're definitely going to be out there. You've seen us at the draft. You've seen Mike's been at some roundtables recently. We're out there, man. I think it's a big part of staying knowledgeable and continuing to learn about the community, and what's valuable is us being there.
Oh, that's so awesome, man. So I love that, man, that you guys are going out to support as well, man. That's huge. So before I let you guys go, I gotta ask you guys. I always open up the floor for this. I'm not sure if you guys have any special people out there that you want to give any shout outs to, but this is your time. Go ahead, say your piece, shout out whoever you want.
Michael?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our guys, like, hey, it takes a lot. I get it to trust somebody, and that's why we're here. We're trying to show what we're good guys. We're trying to show that we're involved in the community. We really do care, and the guys that gave us that opportunity to work for them. I mean, I obviously can't thank them enough. Like 100% goes out to those guys. Slim, Bobby, and Oakland Rose. They're my guys.
Yeah, that's the same for me. Those are the guys who, I mean, they deserve credit for being strong, independent thinkers who are not, going to fall victim to groupthink. Somebody telling them, oh, you don't need this, you don't need that. Guys who are smart, intelligent, who realize this is a good opportunity, and these are people who aren't trying to hurt me and aren't even like, look, we don't kill guys. Trust me. Like, we're out here trying to help people financially too. Like, it's our opinion. You're going to make more out of us than you're ever going to have to pay us. Like, that's the value we bring. But those type guys that just, and being open and out there about it too. Like, they're really what I would call trailblazers in the industry, right? I think someday maybe people may look back at them like, oh, those are guys who were like, all right, they understood the value. They were like about some players' right stuff, and like, they're not ruffling any feathers. We're not guys who are going to get in the way of your relationship with your team or the league in general. Complete opposite of that. We're guys who are going to like help that, but just look out for you in the meantime and make sure you're protected and make sure you're making the most out of the opportunity. That's what guys have to realize. Like, we're not going to jeopardize like anything going on. Like, we're just here to help you grow yourself as well, and do it within what the league allows, and not ruffle any feathers, but just that's what I'll say. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. That's huge, man. And I'm glad that you guys got that point across. I knew you guys were good guys, were some cool guys, because I kind of talked with you guys before, a little back and forth. But I didn't know you guys were this cool. So I'm glad we got it on camera.
Hey, you too, man.
Hey, are you gonna be at any events this year where we could link up in person or anything like that?
Yeah, man. I definitely am. I want to go to the Dallas one. I want to go out there in Dallas. I'm definitely going to try to make something in Manhattan. I definitely want to check out that new venue. But Dallas for sure, and LA, the Lakers. I want to see the Lakers game, and so I'm going to go out there. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be out in the other states, but New York, I mean, Manhattan, I'm pretty sure, guys. I would love to make something happen, meet up, chop it up, man, grab something to eat, do something.
Hey, man, you got a place to stay. Just hit me up. You crash right with me, man. Don't worry about it. I got you.
I appreciate that. Hey, and if you guys are ever the West Coast, man, I got plenty of room. I'm in AZ. You guys always got a house to stay at, man. You guys are more than welcome. Again, my guys, it's been a blast. It's been a pleasure to talk to both of you guys. I can't wait to drop this one off for the community so they can see how good of guys you are. And yeah, man, until next time, this is not the last time for sure. We're definitely going to link back up, man.
Thanks, man. And again, if anybody wants to read more about us, go to www.acdagency.com. All the info's on there about what we do, our backgrounds, all that type of stuff, kind of a summary of everything we just discussed. Or, go to Instagram, go to Twitter, whatever. You'll find us on there. It's either ACD_agency or ACD_eSports. We're there to connect with
and guys. If you're seeing this on Twitter, follow my man. He's great. Puts out great content.
Yeah,
absolute must follow.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, love you guys, man. It's been all love, and that's a wrap.